we built a large site using Gutenberg recently, and it really surprised me how revolutionary the Gutenberg page editor is. I think it's tremendous, and I don't think we would have been able to build this large site so efficiently if it wasn't for the global block system in Gutenberg and the ability to create your own blocks so easily and reuse them throughout the site and then make global updates to the blocks. So the blocks are like the cornerstone to a good project. So I'm going to try take you through some of the cool features that I've discovered and some of the techniques that we use to build the site. So if I just go to, firstly, what really helps is this plugin. If we go to this plugin here, it's called Reusable Blocks Extended. And it gives us this new menu item here. And if I go all reusable blocks, okay, so I've got one block here. And it's a really simple block, which we can preview, which is pretty cool. That's really handy to know what a block looks like, because by the end of building this large site, we had, almost 10 pages of blocks. Lots of blocks, and you do lose track of them, and it's important to have a good naming convention for your blocks. That's up to you, or maybe that's for another video. One cool feature is we can export the block as JSON, so that's cool. I like to export it as JSON and keep it in the theme files. As the theme is under Git version control, this is a good way to keep the blocks under version control as well. But this does get a little bit. It's just a great feature for migrating blocks from site to site. If you want to reuse your blocks from site to site, you can also import the JSONs as well. So, which is great. Okay, so. Now, so here it lists all the pages that this block is on, so let's go check it out. Now, let's go through a little tutorial on global blocks and reusable blocks. One of the big problems is that you add a global block to the page, and you might just start editing it. And the problem is you don't realize you're editing your global block, and this block could be on multiple pages throughout your site, and this content might just be specific to this page. So that's your first issue. So you always got to check if your block's global or not. And I think this Lego piece here, the Lego icon, is the symbol for your global block. If it's not a global block, then more than likely it'll just be a group icon up there. So to convert your block to a regular block, you have to make sure it's selected. The parent element needs to be selected, so the Lego piece needs to be selected, and then you need to, as soon as you click inside the block, you're no longer on the parent of the block anymore. So select the parent, the Lego icon, and then convert to regular block. So that's just converted it to a non-global state. So, and that, a lot of the times, that's what you want. You want to add unique content to your block. Okay. So now if I update this page, it's saying that I've made some changes to the reusable block, which I think is just a bug in Gutenberg at the moment, because I actually haven't made any changes to the block. So this is my global block here selected. I didn't make any changes to that though. Maybe I did. I probably did. All right, let's just refresh and let's get out of here. Okay. Now, so I've got a global block, and below I've got a global block as well. So let's convert it to a regular block, make some changes, and then click update. And that time, everything's fine. It didn't warn me that I was about to update a global block. So when we do update a global block, I can never type. When I do update a global block, then we get the warning that you're actually updating this global block. And that's fine, I can do that. I'll update a global block. Okay, so I mean, one of the best features was the ability to sort of abstract blocks into other blocks. So say, for instance, I did want to make a quick sort of 3-column version of this block. Let's just make a 3-column version, and we'll save that as a global block. So, but just be clicking and dragging. So it's a bit fiddly, but you do get used to it, and it is pretty good. So let's just save this as a global block now. So for that, we need to select the parent. So this element here is like sort of helps you like climb the ladder to the parent. So the parent element of this is columns. So once columns is selected, then I can add to reusable block and give it a name. This is going to be my 3-column text. Okay, update. And because we're creating a new block, now we've got this feature here to save the new block. Okay, so that's created our 3-column text block, which we can find has been added to our reusable blocks screen here. Okay, now there is another feature that this plugin, the reusable blocks plugin, gives you, which is it allows you to convert a block to a pattern. Now, a pattern's pretty similar to a block, except there's no global state to it. So you might want to, here I've already converted my 2-column text to a pattern. So I'll just remove the existing pattern, and I'll convert my 3-column text to a pattern. Okay, so that's been converted. And now if I go to my sample page, and we'll go add, and now we have, in patterns, we have a new converted from reusable blocks option, and here we'll see our 3-column text. So we can add that to the page. That's going to add right down to the end of the page. Now, as I said before, this is just like a block, except there is no global state. So if I update this here, that just updates the text on this page. If I add the pattern again to the page, here for some reason the patterns is missing. So this is a small bug where the patterns is missing. So this can be fixed with a refresh. It should do the trick. Okay, now we can add our pattern to the page again. So that's going to add it to the bottom of your blocks on the page. Okay, now one of the issues with Gutenberg, I feel, has been working with the blocks on the page. It can be quite fiddly. I think a good way to balance that out is to start using shortcuts. So there are some really handy shortcuts which really make working with Gutenberg easy. So if I select my block here and I want to add a block just above this block, I can just go Alt Option T and that will insert a block before. Then I can hit slash and then I can add my block in, whatever I'm looking for. If that's not the block I want, then I can hit Option Control Z and get rid of the block. Say for instance I've got this block here selected, I just check that this is the block I want selected, and then if I go Command Option Y, it'll add a block after, and once again I can just start typing and then convert to regular block if needed.